Bohumil Jednorovič Kosovský was a Czech chemist, spiritist medium and writer, writing as Ivan Horný. He was born in 1898 in Hořice v Podkrkonoší. During World War I he served in Italy, then remained in the army after the war, but was kicked out in 1923 due to an act of homosexual delinquency, quote-unquote. He was a contributor to the Hlas magazine, or Voice of the Sexual Minority, which was founded in 1931. In the interwar period, he made a living by making lectures on Spiritism. After the Nazi takeover of Czechoslovakia, he was stationed in a camp, his task being to taste the food sent for workers being sent to work in Germany to avoid more poisonings. He was prosecuted in 1950 for organizing a resistance group to the Communist Party of Czechoslovakia and facilitating the escape of roughly 20 people across the border. He was sentenced to life in prison and was released after serving 10 years in the uranium mines. In 1966 he was prosecuted for writing documents critical of the Communist Party and then sent into an insane asylum. He spent the rest of his life being shadowed by the secret police until his death in 1987 in Klatovy. We will cover his 1931 Šílený Adventista, i.e. the Mad Adventist. The novel begins with the Mad Adventist, an apocalyptic prophet wandering the country with his hordes of adoring worshippers, whom he curses, hates and abuses and who still follow him like dogs. He wishes for the destruction of all religion and science, denies God and throws rocks at the sun wishing for it to go out. Somehow he attracts followers, including women leaving their own homes, to follow in ecstatic anticipation of the end of the world. He hates them and tasks them to produce children conceived in hate and groomed for hate. Coming upon a rich settlement, he is welcomed by the people, which disappoints his followers, since they had hoped to be massacred as a signal for the coming apocalypse. A young woman, the daughter of the richest homestead, offers herself to him and he lies with her, intending to father a child that will spread even more hate and destruction. Afterwards he mocks and scoffs at her, throwing rocks at her to drive her away. Wandering the country homeless and destitute, 9 months later she gives birth among a group of old women who consider her child to be a demon and plan to kill it as soon as it's born. But the village being unscathed miraculously after a massive hillslide makes the people hail the newborn Ivan as a chosen of God. Then we have several segments detailing how Pope Raphael I obtains a new secret weapon to destroy anything he wants, while the Soviet dictator Kosovich declares the following: that the female population is to be reduced to 1/200th, that marriages are to be outlawed, women are to be placed under the care of multiple men and are banned from having a job, that all they are allowed to do is to give birth, that all female Caucasian newborns are to be killed, and that all children will be taken from their parents and never allowed to know who they are. And the narrative somehow presents this as liberating women from 6,000 years of slavery, and has women all over the world celebrate these Soviet degrees with mad glee, literally dancing in the streets. His advisors also say they have created a human-ape hybrid, and unrelated to this have created camps where uneducated savage women are kept and are to be used exclusively for breeding to abolish the white race and create a new primitive race, all while extolling the virtues of eugenics and exterminating the disabled. The hunchback Richard, one of Ivan's only friends, becomes a Soviet commissar and refuses to succeed his father as a rabbi. Then has all the villagers in his native village shot to death as Ivan leaves to find his mother. Then Martha, Ivan's stepsister, shows up for the first time here to declare her love for Ivan and be rejected. Richard takes her as his lover but gets rejected while being haunted by the screams of the villagers he had shot. Seeking refuge in drink and domestic violence with other lovers, he sends Martha to find the leader of the anti-Soviet propaganda in Paris, and she witnesses the Mad Adventist being burned to death en route. Then she reunites with Ivan with zero effort, never says a word to him, and gets shot to death by assassins from the Vatican. Ivan, who found his mother off screen and had her shot to death in the same paragraph as Martha, decides to ignore both their deaths and goes to make more anti-Soviet propaganda. We never get to see the conflict built up for the entire novel between the Vatican and the Soviets. Worse, the story has potential, but most of the text is just one-sided proclamations about philosophy, politics, the need for eugenics, etc. And the author's weird obsession of calling everything lesbian and going on about how intersexuality will doom us all. Anything that happens in spite of all the endless speeches and letters.